Hello, buenos dias, good morning, buenos noches, good evening, no matter what language you speak or what time of day it is. I'm Benjamin Yoder, and welcome, also known as Oculin, on the Speed Gamers. Welcome twice. You hear a lot of video game journalists go, "Oh, there's too many sequels out on the market," and that's pretty true currently, and so they're always encouraging people to go buy original content because that's how you're going to get new experiences. And I somewhat agree with that. But in my opinion, you don't necessarily need a new franchise to get a new experience. Currently, it seems like a lot of developers are super focused on fulfilling expectations of the consumer, which is the best way to do something. I mean, if it's not broken, don't fix it, is what they say. But through this, you'll create a very similar experience with each entry in the series. Call of Duty is probably the best example of this, as it releases every single year. And through it, it has been stuck in the style of, oh, it's this game again. They're always constantly going, we need to appeal to our fans. And so they're minor improvements overall. And when there are changes to the game, it's very minor stuff that it doesn't create something that really sets it apart. So when these titles are in development, I think they need to have developers need to have a more open-ended look at the game. I think when they're developing it, they should shoot to capture that familiarity that people associate a series with. But at the same time, they should also look for something foreign that brings a new experience to that franchise. And through this, you'll keep your built-in audience while expanding the franchise not only to new people, but at the same time, refresh that old audience that are like, I liked the last game, but I don't really want to buy it again because I already played the last game. Now they're like, well, I like the last game, but there's more stuff in this game that I want more. And I think a good example of this is Mario Galaxy. You look at Mario 64 and you look at Mario Sunshine, and while there are some minor differences between the two, they're very similar titles. Same kind of 3D Mario experience. Go run around, collect stars. And, in different areas, and like, oh, there's 7 stars in this area, go collect them all, pew! And so you go collect them. And Galaxy keeps that same formula, but it switches it up a bit. In Super Mario 64, it might be like, oh, there's a gap over there that I need to jump to. And Mario Galaxy is like, oh, there's a gap here, and on the other side there's a wall, but, oh, I'm gonna jump anyways, and you jump, and then it's like, oh, there's gravity here, and you flip over, and you're like, ha ha ha, I'm running up the wall. And so it gives you a new way of thinking and exploring the environment. The whole globe-shaped areas. And it's fresh and new, but it still keeps that same 3D Mario formula that fans are familiar with. Another example of this, in my opinion, is Final Fantasy XIV. I only played 15 hours of it, and it was the beta. But, it was a nice mix of what was Final Fantasy XI. It was like, oh, the graphical style, the character, just like the whole design of the game was very familiar with Final Fantasy XI. But at the same time, much of the gameplay aspects were completely changed. Now, did people like that? Absolutely not, because they didn't like the new stuff. And unfortunately now, instead of trying to build on what made 14 unique, it sounds like they're trying to push 14 back to what 11 was, or what 11 is now, since 11's very user-friendly at this point. But, yeah, so these refreshes can happen, in a tired series. If you look at Resident Evil, you have Resident Evil 1, which was like, oh, everyone loves it. Resident Evil 2, everyone loves it more. Resident Evil 3, Resident Evil 4, well, it looks good, but And then you get Resident Evil 4, which everyone's like, oh, this is the best game ever created. And then you get Resident Evil 5, which pretty much takes what Resident Evil 4 had and slaps co-op on it, and you get something that was less than stellar, although it kind of got rid of many of the elements that even Resident Evil 4 kept of the original Resident Evil series. But the series is still very much alive at this point because it did have a nice reboot. And you look at franchises that didn't reboot, and you look at, recently Guitar Hero, uh, they didn't really change much at all. They didn't refresh the experience, causing the franchise to pretty much crash into the ground suddenly. Now, Guitar Hero, at this point in time, there's no Guitar Hero planned in the near future. But the genre did get its own reboot just outside of Activision. The dancing scene kind of took over, and it has the same kind of gameplay, but it adds refreshing elements like the whole motion of your body instead of just, oh, I'm clicking plastic buttons. So yeah, you don't necessarily need a new IP to get new experiences. You can get new experiences through franchises, but developers need to stop focusing so much on, what do our fans completely expect, instead of what can we do to appeal to our fans while still moving the franchise forward. And, that's how sequels are. Unfortunately, I doubt it's going to change anytime soon. And, yeah, hopefully Activision reboots Call of Duty at some point. Well, not necessarily reboots, but refreshes Call of Duty at some point. And, not end up without any kind of franchise under their wings. So yeah, thank you again. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Oh, speaking of Resident Evil. Resident Evil Degeneration! That's for you, local. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.